Why is it that there's a gun shop on almost every corner in this community? Why? Tell you why. For the same reason that there's a liquor store on almost every corner in the black community. Why? They want us to kill ourselves. You go out to Beverly Hills, you don't see that. There's a gun shop on almost every corner in this community. Why? Tell you why. For the same reason that there's a liquor store on almost every corner in the black community. Why? They want us to kill ourselves. You go out to Beverly Hills, you don't see that. Why is it that there's a gun shop on almost every corner in this community? Why? Tell you why. For the same reason that there's a liquor store on almost every corner in the black community. Why? They want us to kill ourselves. You go out to Beverly Hills, you don't see that. Why is it that there's a gun shop on almost every corner in this community? Why? Tell you why. For the same reason that there's a liquor store on almost every corner in the black community. Why? They want us to kill ourselves. You go out to Beverly.
What up, though, everybody? What's going on? I'm sorry I'm late. Had a lot going on today. Oh, actually, I'm not even going to lie to you. I had like the best rest that I've had in a long time, and I needed that because I've been moving. All right. I mean, when I say moving, I mean just focused and productive and just, trying to put a lot of different things in perspective. So today, I was off from the plantation, and this is usually my podcast day, and I was working on that and getting that together for you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you all had a great holiday. I did not do a show. I didn't do episode 3 last Wednesday. I just, wanted to take a break and to also just, do some things before the holiday. And like I said, I hope that everybody is productive and, had a great time with family or whatever you may have done. But the number one thing is hopefully that you made sure that you prayed and gave, your first fruits. You already know, to God. Okay. Okay. All right. So this episode has a lot of different situations happening that I wanted to shine light on. There was one situation that I wanted to shine light on that pertains to mental health. And one I wanted to shine light on pertaining to how the system fails Black women when it comes to situations that have to do with domestic violence, or should I say DV? That is the terminology I guess I should be using, because our freedom of speech is no longer free. Okay, so DV, excuse my French for saying the other word. But so yeah, I wanted to shine light on a couple of things, and I'll talk about them, as you guys take a look at the clip, and we'll discuss it after. And if this is your first time actually watching the show, I do want to say that start at season 1 too. Season 1 definitely was informative. There's 5 episodes per season, and I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to introduce Protect Black Men after this. So we will be doing a Protect Black Men series as well after this season right here. So fellas, I know it's some good men that, you know, have been dragged and bruised and hurt, and that's out there wanting to heal, and it's been hard. I understand, and I have been doing research, and I got you. I want to shine light on your situation as well, in hopes that the women who never really kind of deep dived or taken a look at taking a look at situations, because we always look at men as having to be strong and stoic and this and that, like they don't have feelings. I hope that women watch it and they get to see a different perspective that will help them into building better relationships with platonic friends, as well as their, you know, significant other or whatever it may be. So without further ado, I'll just go ahead and show the clip so we can get it cracking. But shout out to the eye. Thank you so much, whoever that is watching. I totally appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much for watching, and please make sure that you leave some comments, engage with me through the clips, and let's talk about it. The first one is a young lady by the name of Ramiah Griffin out of Pittsburgh. And her situation is she was an influencer. She was in a relationship, and they had like this couple social media influencer thing going on, as well as him being a truck driver. And they were together for a good amount of years. And they also had a child together. And he snapped. And the messed up part is that he wind up going to her funeral. So he, you know, deleted her and was still in the face of her family. So I want you to check this out. They are in their 20s, I do believe. And it's just, it gets younger and younger. I just don't understand it. That's why it's really important for us to shine light in our community on these things, and also talk about mental health and counseling and different things, because I will say in the Black community, that's one thing that has always been taboo and been shunned upon, is talking and speaking with somebody. But we're seeing now how it's manifesting through these new generations of youth that's coming up. Okay, so I really feel like hopefully that, you know, you guys are looking at these, and, you know, you are going deep diving and doing your own work, and, you know, and talking this up with other people. Okay, all right, let's get it. I am so sorry. This one actually, for some reason, this one popped up first. Ooh, this is Ashanti Monk from North Carolina. I'm sorry about that. This one is not Ramiah. I'll try to see why that one did not pop up. But this situation right here is about a young lady who actually went to a party, and she was deleted at a party and nobody's speaking up. So we'll go ahead and check that one out.
This is 19-year-old Ashanti Monk. Sadly, she was killed in a shooting at a house party over the weekend. The search is now on for the person who pulled the trigger.
All I can really tell anybody, like, if you never lost, like, a sibling or, like, a child, like, I don't think anybody wants to feel that pain. I'm telling you, nobody. It's not a good pain at all.
19-year-old Ashanti Monk, affectionately known as Tay-Tay to family and friends, was a sweet and outgoing young girl who loved spending time with loved ones. She was known for her beautiful smile, her dimples, her beautiful spirit, and most importantly, her strong faith in God. Even at a young age, Ashanti proudly leaned on her faith to get her through any and everything. According to those who knew her, she made everyone around her feel loved, no matter who you were. She had a unique way of making the rough times easier. Although the youngest of all of her siblings, she was described as a tough and fearless girl who wasn't afraid to speak her mind and stand up for what she believed in. One of the things Ashanti was looking forward to the most was her father, her twin, being released from prison. In her own words, she said, "When my twin get out, I want everybody to stand on what they've been trying to stand on. Strictly business. Free my daddy. You ain't got long at all, Pops." Like most teens her age, Ashanti decided to hang out with friends at a local house party. Never could anyone have imagined that what was supposed to be a fun night would take a turn for the worst. Just before 2 a.m. on March 17th, Harnett County sheriffs responded to the area of 249 Sundowner Lane after receiving multiple 911 calls in reference to shots being fired. Upon arrival, they would locate a chaotic scene and an unresponsive teenage girl lying on the ground.
Well, the shooting happened early Sunday morning. There was a party back at that house on Saturday night. We can't go back there because there's no trespassing signs. But the sheriff right now is looking for suspects. The home where the party took place sits on a secluded lot behind a new housing development. At 1:47 Sunday morning, the Harnett County 911 Center received multiple calls about shots being fired at the home on Sundowner Lane in Angier.
The victim was identified as 19-year-old Ashanti Monk, who was sadly pronounced dead at the scene after succumbing to a gunshot wound. While emergency crews were at the scene, the Harnett County 911 Center received an additional call that a 21-year-old male and a 19-year-old female arrived at a nearby hospital with gunshot wounds. Both victims were treated for non-life-threatening injuries and released. A look into the investigation revealed a party consisting of roughly 100 partygoers was being held at the home on Sundowner Lane when out of nowhere, shots were fired, striking multiple individuals, snatching Ashanti's life away from her at the blink of an eye. All she wanted to do was have fun, spend time with friends, and have a good time. Instead, she would lose her life in the process, never getting to share that special moment with her father ever again. Ashanti's sister and best friend, who were with her at the party, recalled several fights occurring before multiple gunshots were heard. They had no idea that Ashanti had even been shot until they stumbled upon her bullet-ridden body lying on the ground, leaving everyone completely devastated, angry, and confused. In a heartbreaking Facebook post, her mother stated the following: "There are no words to express how much I miss my gorgeous baby girl who left this world far too soon. The memories of our talks keep replaying in my mind like a broken record, because nothing brings me greater solace than remembering all we shared as mother and daughter, whether it was giving guidance on important matters or sharing secrets only known between ourselves. Those discussions strengthened our bond beyond blood ties. My adorable little angel referred to me by calling out Mama. Losing someone so dear feels overwhelming without any explanation. Friends and family gathered for a balloon release to celebrate and honor Ashanti's life, a life gone too soon. Most importantly, they prayed for justice."
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Roughly 1 week after the shooting, deputies would announce the arrest of 23-year-old Darian Wellington Gale of Dunn, North Carolina. He was charged with 1 count of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, 2 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, inflicting serious injury, 14 counts of discharging a firearm into occupied property, 1 count of possession of firearm by felon, 1 count of felony flee to elude with a motor vehicle, and 1 count of driving with a revoked license. Gale is being held at the Harnett County Detention Center on no bond.
She had a lot of good people on her team. She loved everybody.
Jada Monk says her younger sister Ashanti was tough and wasn't afraid to tell you what she thought.
We argued, but at the end of the day, everybody knew we did love each other.
Overnight Saturday, Jada, her sister, and their friends went to a party near Sundowner Lane. Just before 2 a.m. Sunday, Harnett County received multiple 911 calls about shots fired in the area. Jada saying it was scary.
It was. To hear so many shots like that, yeah, it was.
Investigators say about 100 people were at the party. When deputies arrived, they found 19-year-old Ashanti with a gunshot wound. She was pronounced dead at the scene.
We didn't know, honestly, until about 10, 20 minutes afterwards. So it was just kind of like a shock to us.
Jaden Everett has known Ashanti since kindergarten.
A very bright spirit. You know, she just was always smiling, always singing, always talking, always laughing.
Jaden and Jada are both grieving.
It ain't easy, but we holding in there.
They say they never thought they'd be talking about Ashanti like this.
I had a tough sister. For her to be the youngest, she was tough.
But they're holding memories of Ashanti close, looking back at old pictures and videos.
Even when I play it now, like videos on my phone, hearing her just talking and laughing, and you know, it makes me smile. It brings me happiness for sure.
On March 23rd, a funeral was held for 19-year-old Ashanti Monk at the Dafford Funeral Home Chapel in Angier, North Carolina. Her final resting place was the Rest Haven Cemetery in Dunn, North Carolina. It is still unclear why the suspect began shooting in the first place. Out of 100 people at the party, no one saw anything that led up to the shooting. All of these details are still a mystery, and the case remains ongoing.
I really don't understand how 100 people can be at a party and nobody see nothing. Okay. That's another problem with the culture. You know, we want to take video so that we can get all these follows or likes so that we can make money and profit off of somebody's demise. People can be laying in the street, shot, whatever it may be. And people actually will videotape on their phone instead of actually calling the police immediately or reaching out and calling 911 or whatever it may be. I've been seeing a lot of those videos, and those have been, you know, excruciating because it's been a lot of young people like 17, 18, 19. But 100 people and nobody seen anything. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Shout out. Oh, thank you so much, hon, for engaging. And Lachelle Tyler says, I don't understand why her friends found her 10 minutes later. Thank you. Yes. I never let my people out of my sight whenever I'm out. Absolutely. Especially women. You know, men should be the same with their boys. Women should be the same with their girls, you know, and I totally agree with that. Especially, you know, when you in between 18 to 30 and you like enjoying life, because those are the times that, you know, that you're traveling, you're hanging, you're enjoying life with people. There's a certain awareness, and every generation gets different. And the awareness, self-awareness need to be even more keen, especially in these times. So, you know, that does suck. And it's been a lot of that friend stuff happening too. All right. So I did find the video I was looking for. Ramiah, I'm about to show that real quick. I'm queuing that up because that's an important video I want to discuss after the fact. So check this out, everybody, and I'll come back with my thoughts. And all of these are my thoughts and opinions, okay? All right. Child, you know what? I feel like there has been a technical error with the video I want to show with Ramiah. Well, okay, so guess what? We're going to keep it moving and we're going to go to the next one. So I'll show you the next one, which is this young lady is out of Washington. I think her name is Chyna Crawford. And speaking of friends, maybe it was meant for me to actually watch this because we just was talking about from Lachelle actually showing her, you know, her thoughts and speaking her thoughts about being around, making sure her people straight. This issue right here happened a couple of months ago, and they just thought that she was missing because they couldn't find her body. So there has been an update to this, which I'm going to show. And unfortunately, the young lady was deleted by her friend, her best friend. Okay, so check this out. And I hope that this is the video clip. Okay, if not, we're going to keep rolling and riding. And then I'm just going to be talking about whatever clip it is. All right.
Of the 46-year-old woman who was found dead in her Westchester Avenue apartment on Monday is remembering her tonight.
Okay, so after I know what happened. As I was downloading my clips, there were a technical issue with the way that they came out. So these clips are going to be different in a different order. Okay, so I'm just going to speak on the clips that are in this order, and we'll just discuss it. Okay, so this young lady right here, name is Selma. Selma had a daughter, and this is one of the mental health situations that I was discussing. Selma had a daughter, and she loved her daughter. Her daughter was smart, intelligent, athletic. She wound up having a child with a man and who broke her spirit, and she suffered from some mental health. And I do believe it may have been postpartum as well, but she wound up deleting her mom, and they were very close. So we'll discuss this and why I say that, you know, this was definitely something that had to do with mental health at the end of the clip. Okay. And I'm very sorry about the inconvenience this week with the technical difficulties, but listen, y'all gonna see these clips, whether they mixed up or whatever. Okay. All right. Check this out.
46-year-old Selma McLean, affectionately known as Jada to family and friends, was a strong, independent, loving, and wise woman who was loved by many. Her motto was always live, love, and laugh, something she always stood by, not to mention the fact that she was an amazing cook. Most importantly, she was a devoted mother to her daughter, who meant the world to her. The two were close. She was that mother that was at all of her school events, her basketball games, just an overall supportive and proud parent.
Get that ball, Jay! Good try, Jay! Good hustle.
Her daughter was a promising basketball player who was named the 2019 Spalding National Junior College Athletic Association Division III Women's Basketball Player of the Year, and also won MVP honors after her team at Hostos College won the division's championships. Selma couldn't have been more proud. Her daughter was flourishing, and her future looked promising. Things were going well for the mother-daughter duo. At least it seemed that way. An unexpected chain of events would soon occur that would change Selma and her daughter's lives forever. Just before 4 a.m. on March 25th, NYPD responded to an apartment building at 720 Westchester Avenue in the Melrose neighborhood of South Bronx after a woman called and confessed to a murder. Upon entering the third-floor apartment, they would locate a gruesome scene: an unconscious and unresponsive adult female and a woman clutching a bloody frying pan.
This is just a very sad story. Police have just released the identity of the 46-year-old victim, and police took into custody a 26-year-old woman. They have not released her identity yet.
The victim was identified as 46-year-old Selma McLean, who was sadly pronounced dead at the scene. A suspect was quickly taken into custody by the NYPD, with family members confirming her identity as Selma's own daughter, 26-year-old Skydasia Patterson, who also lived at the home. Initially, the exact details surrounding Selma's murder were unclear. However, the frightening reality of what actually went down inside of that Bronx apartment early that morning would soon be revealed. In a chilling chain of events, Skydasia contacted NYPD and confessed to murdering her mother after beating her to death with a cooking pan in the back of her head. Selma's goddaughter informed police that Skydasia had been in a psychiatric institution since February after recovering from giving birth to a stillborn baby 6 months ago. She didn't properly heal from it and just wanted everything to be fine, to move on from the entire situation. She was also worried about the breakup with the baby's father. She was released and returned home just 1 week prior to the murder. In fact, the night before the murder, Selma reached out to her goddaughter, letting her know that Skydasia was hearing voices and had
What the heck? Testing. Oh my gosh. I tell you, I feel like somebody hacking me or something. I don't even understand how that just happened. Okay. I am going to go back and see if I could start this over where please forgive me, guys. This is really weird. Okay, let's get it back cracking. Well, oh, that is not her. Okay. Let's see. So I do believe something happened with that video clip and it blanked everything out. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Selma were exceptionally close. She stated, she and her mom loved each other. There's nothing they wouldn't do for each other. It just really got into a mental health crisis. Sometimes they had their little quarrels, but that was it. They were inseparable. Her daughter was her whole life. The day before the murder, the pair spent the day together, going to church and then to dinner at another one of Selma's daughter's homes in Connecticut. Selma's goddaughter said she last saw Selma and Skydasia roughly 2.5 hours prior to the murder, after they returned home from Connecticut and she left their Bronx apartment. She recalled the hours leading up to the murder, saying, she did text me that night that Sky was hearing voices. She said that it was like another person popped out of Sky. She was trying to calm her daughter down. That was like the little back and forth between them, and that was the last text I received from my godmother. Not long afterwards, Skydasia would make the chilling call to 911. Selma's goddaughter heard from a friend later that morning that she was dead and rushed to the building, seeking answers and finding the apartment in disarray. There were cops in front of the building, in front of the apartment, and the door was open when she looked inside. The shoe rack was knocked down, the floor, and on the couch. Through tears, she said that Skydasia had been acting strange the day before, while they spent time with her sister and 2 friends. And when the murder took place, some of them were just hours away from returning to the apartment to make sure Skydasia wasn't alone while Selma went to work. She said that she was leaving the apartment that night. Scott told her that she loved her and asked if she can get a hug. That was the last time she spoke to Skydasia in person. Now she is left with the memory of Skydasia that is difficult to comprehend. She says no matter what, she will be at every court date. At the end of the day, that's her sister, and she doesn't want her to feel alone.
Loved her daughter to death, literally. And they didn't have no bad blood with each other. This was a simple mental health crisis.
And police officers found McLean on her living room floor here at 720 Westchester Avenue just after 3:30 this morning. That's also when they took the 26-year-old woman into custody. We spoke to another woman here at the scene who says she is McLean's other daughter. The first woman I spoke to said that the 26-year-old who is now into police custody had been going through a very difficult time. She also said that McLean had sent her a text last night saying her daughter was hearing voices and had threatened her.
I just feel like everybody should take mental health serious enough. And I feel like, that's one thing that people shouldn't turn down. Sorry.
In the hours following Selma's senseless and untimely murder, shocked and heartbroken loved ones gathered in front of her Westchester apartment building for a candlelight vigil with purple and white candles to honor her life. They say they don't want Selma or Jada, as she was known to loved ones, to be remembered as just another statistic, but someone who was kind and loving, and most importantly, someone who was always there for her daughter, no matter what.
It's been an incredibly difficult week for the family and friends of Selma McLean. Many of the people here knew her as Jada. They say they will remember her for her kindness and her delicious cooking.
Curry chicken, stewed chicken, the food, period.
She was always there for her daughter. She supported her through whatever.
She pushed everybody to do better in their life, even if it was, a crisis or something simple. She just gave everybody love.
In the early hours of Monday morning, police found McLean dead on her living room floor here at 720 Westchester Avenue. Police say that a 26-year-old woman was taken into custody that morning as well. According to several close family members, the 26-year-old was McLean's daughter who lived with her here. They told me she had been suffering from severe mental health episodes and had recently been released from a mental health facility. Everyone here said that the mother and daughter loved each other, and they really stressed the importance of taking mental health seriously.
If you're going through some type of trauma, you're going through something mentally, physically, if you're overthinking yourself to death about something, go get some help, go confide in somebody, even if you guys are on bad terms, because you just never know. You never know what could happen.
Although 26-year-old Skydasia Patterson was taken into custody, she has not faced any murder charges as of yet due to a pending psychiatric evaluation. The case remains ongoing.
We should be tired of seeing balloon releases. I want to say pretty much rest in peace to Miss Selma, and I'm really sorry about this situation. Sorry guys, I had to jump on a different camera because there was a technical issue that was happening, so I had to get on a different camera. All right, so I just want to talk about this real briefly. And if you guys out there that's taking a look at this, if you have something to add, that would be great. But this really is a mental issue. There are, and then it depends on, if you're a spiritual person, you might say she might have needed some deliverance. You understand? It's just, when I was reading the comments, when I was actually watching this clip and doing research, a lot of people, it was like 50-50. It was like a lot of women, half of them were saying that she needed, some counseling or some help, some real serious help when it came to her mental health. And then it was some people saying that the man that she was with put a demon on her and she needed to be delivered. It's gone. And see, that's the thing. That's the problem with our community, because we want to always pray away everything, but it also takes us putting things into action for us to show our faith and for us to, see some results. And the action is taking action when it comes to trying to get healthy mentally, by counseling, by, whatever it may take, as well as prayer, but we just feel like talking to somebody outside of our family or this, that, and the other is weak. Men think it's weak. Women think it's weird. We are getting into a better space as a community and understanding more about it, because that narrative is being pushed a lot, which is, it's not a bad narrative. I'm just saying, it's been being pushed more than it has ever been for the past couple of years. I would say ever since, C-19 happened. You know what I'm saying? You guys know what that is. But ever since, we were stuck in a house and all of that, after we got out the house, there's been a lot of talk about us getting help. More people have been interested in it. And I'm glad to see that. But this is one situation where, because people be trying to say, oh, this person needed to seek counseling. Some people are raised wrong. I'll keep it 100. Some people are not raised at all. And, they have no remorse, feelings, or whatever they do to somebody, because they just pretty much, don't care. There was never any type of connection in the household. But with her, we see there was connection in the household. We see she was friends with her mom. We see she, was in school and smart and athletic, and so that's how we know that this was a issue where she was really mentally struggling, for her to, unalive her mother like that. So my condolences. And I just want to know, if you were in a situation, like if you were a mom in this situation, or a dad in this situation, and your child was struggling mentally, what would be your thoughts? Like, would you allow them to stay with you? Would you, be open and trusting of them on every level to still be in your space? Like, what would be your results? Like, what do you feel like you could have done or would have done differently? Put it in the comments. All right. Okay. So, I found out the issue with my clips. They downloaded with the wrong names, because I usually put every name with every video. But when I downloaded the videos, onto my computer, the name scrambled. So that was the issue. Okay. So with that being said, I'm flying, I'm winging this baby this week. But we gonna get through it. But I do have, because I've been trying to, this has been the first one that I've been trying to show, but I do believe I have Ramiah Griffins now. Okay, she's based out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I already told y'all the story. If you're just chiming in, it's a young lady who is an influencer on social media, and she had a boyfriend and they had a child, I do believe. Yeah, they had a child, and he unalived her and went to the funeral. Okay, check it out.
This is the story of Ramiah Griffin, a joyful 20-year-old with a passion for creating TikTok and YouTube videos, often with her boyfriend of 4 years, 22-year-old Jackquelyn Stevenson-Suffolk. The birth of their daughter marked a turning point as their relationship deteriorated and ultimately came to an end. On one fateful day, Ramiah would be discovered dead with 12 gunshot wounds, and her former boyfriend, Jackquelyn Stevenson-Suffolk, would be charged with her murder. How could a couple, once seemingly enveloped in love, spiral into such a devastating and violent end? Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 20-year-old Ramiah, a resident of Pittsburgh, was often referred to as a beacon of light and a shining star in the lives of those who knew her. Her presence was marked by her unmistakable, wide smile that she carried with her everywhere. It was a rare moment to see her without that joyful expression. Ramiah was creative and talented and possessed a caring nature that impacted everyone she met, providing support and kindness generously. Ramiah had many friends. Everyone loved being around her. Ramiah was a talented hairstylist. She had a passion for doing braids and installing wigs. Ramiah was also into fashion. She posted pics online in various outfits as well as did clothing hauls on her YouTube channel. Ramiah was in a relationship with 22-year-old Jackquelyn Stevenson-Suffolk. Stevenson-Suffolk was originally from Nairobi, Kenya, and now resided in Pittsburgh. The two were together 4 years, and the two were very much in love. Ramiah expressed her love for Stevenson-Suffolk in TikTok videos, and the two could be seen doing TikToks together. The chemistry between the two was evident in their online videos, and the couple even started a YouTube channel.
What do you have in common, and what don't you have in common? Go first.
I don't know. I don't think we have a lot in common, but we have some things in common. You go.
I just got to say this. Anytime a man tells you, especially in front of the world, I don't think we have a lot in common, he can't even think of nothing. See, okay. And I might just stop and start and have a conversation throughout this because, okay, ladies, this is a red flag and she know it. She knew it in this video. If you look at her body language, it changed, but check it out.
I would say the things we have in common, we both like shoes. We both like shoes and cars, I guess. So, but he's more of a car person. What don't we have in common? We're not from the same country, yeah. I guess. Something we
grew up exactly. What is it called? I don't know.
On to the next question. What are our plans for the future?
Money, money, money.
Someday married, own a house, have kids.
All houses.
Have businesses. Next question is favorite and least favorite thing about each other.
She get on my nerves all the time, most of the time. So.
Okay. Now, he couldn't answer what they had in common, but he was quick, like super quick to say she get on his nerves all the time. Okay, child.
I don't even know.
So you went for the least favorite thing first?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing about me?
You like going out most of the time, so that gives us something to do, so I like that.
Well, my least favorite thing is that he don't like going out. And he don't like doing stuff. I mean, sometimes we go out and stuff, but sometimes he's lazy. Like today, we were supposed to get up early.
What did?
But we did, and then somebody went back to sleep.
Because I only slept for an hour, you kept waking me up.
At some point, the couple would be expecting their first child, but sadly, after the birth of their daughter, their relationship would end. The two would go on to co-parent their daughter and would seemingly have a civilized co-parenting relationship. Ramiah embraced her role as a mother, and she made it a priority to love and care for her daughter, making sure her daughter was well taken care of, but sadly, tragedy would strike this young mother in an unimaginable way. On February 9, 2024, at about 4:30 in the afternoon, authorities were called in response to a shooting in the 5400 block of Youngridge Drive. Upon arrival, officers discovered the body of 20-year-old Ramiah. She had been shot 12 times and was declared deceased at the scene. In the room they found 16 spent shell casings, and, in a room close by, was Ramiah's 1-year-old daughter. She was fortunately unharmed.
Ramiah Griffin was a mother to a 1-year-old daughter. We're told she was shot 12 times in her own home and in front of that child.
She was our age, and it's horrible that there's people in the world who can do stuff like that and just be fine.
Said Alden Apartments on Youngridge Drive in Baldwin say police didn't find her body until several hours after she died.
Investigators interviewed neighbors and determined that she was likely shot around 3 a.m. This is when some neighbors reported hearing gunshots, while many of the neighbors didn't hear anything despite the close proximity of the units. Because Ramiah's body was not discovered until 4:30 p.m., it was determined that her 1-year-old daughter spent over 13 hours in the unit with her deceased mother alone. One neighbor tearfully recounted hearing a baby crying for an extended period of time and feeling uneasy about it and wondering how anyone could leave a baby in that situation alone. Through multiple investigative techniques, such as interviews with witnesses and analysis of surveillance footage, detectives identified the individual accountable for the shooting as 22-year-old Adeline Etongwa, Ramiah's ex-boyfriend and the father of her child. They wanted to speak with Etongwa right away and started the process of locating him. Etongwa, who works as a long-distance truck driver, was en route to North Carolina when the police reached out to him. He mentioned that he had been with Ramiah and the baby on the morning of February 8 before departing that evening for a scheduled delivery trip to North Carolina. He stated that he reached Cheswick around 7 p.m. to collect his freight, but did not depart until approximately 10:45 p.m. After loading his trailer, he took the load to his residence in Monroeville, where he left it. Subsequently, he drove Ramiah and her child to their home in Baldwin, went back to Monroeville to retrieve his truck, and then continued on his journey. GPS records from the trucking company showed the truck spent about 10 minutes at Ramiah's apartment around 12:10 a.m., arrived in Monroeville just before 1 a.m., and then was parked in McKees Rocks for 2.5 hours. Investigators asked Etongwa why he hadn't mentioned that he parked at McKees Rocks for 2.5 hours. He said he'd intended to stop for gas at a speedway, but discovered he couldn't use the company credit card there. He then pulled over because his truck was having issues, and then he took a nap. Etongwa's claims about truck issues and his inability to use a company card at Speedway were contradicted by the absence of calls or texts on his phone, and the gas station did allow the use of the card. Using license plate reader technology, investigators focused on a Hyundai Sonata with stolen plates, tracked from McKees Rocks to South Hills and back, on the night of the reported gunshots. The car, owned by Ramiah's mother and accessible to Ramiah and Etongwa, had been tampered with around 2:15 a.m. on the murder morning. It was later found with a mismatched license plate and gunshot residue inside. Authorities had all the evidence they needed to arrest Etongwa for Ramiah's murder. It appeared he carefully planned the murder of Ramiah and tried to cover his tracks by pretending he was at work and using her own mother's car during the crime. He was taken into custody by Allegheny County detectives. He will remain at county jail to await arraignment on charges of criminal homicide and endangering the welfare of a child.
A young mother murdered inside her own home, and now police say they've caught her killer. Officers just arrested Adeline Etongwa. He is the father of Ramiah Griffin's 1-year-old daughter. Family members tell us they are sickened over this.
We treated him like family. Like, he was at the family dinners, and anytime there was a birthday, he was there.
David Atongwa is here at the Allegheny County Jail tonight, but earlier this evening, he was next door being arraigned on that murder charge.
When I got the news, I was just like, just a big sigh of relief.
Mya Griffin describes how she felt when she learned police had made an arrest.
We're happy that they found who did it, but, you know, we're still grieving the loss of my sister.
This man, 22-year-old Adeline Itongwa, is behind bars tonight. He's accused of shooting and killing Ramiah Griffin, leaving their 1-year-old daughter alone for 13 hours.
We treated him like family. Like, he was at the family dinners, and anytime there was a birthday, he was there.
County police say Itongwa was identified through witness interviews and surveillance video before being arrested this afternoon.
He wanted us to find her like that. He wanted us to find my niece soiled in her diaper and my sister lifeless on her bed.
While Mya and the rest of her family come to grips with the loss of her sister.
And this is a little pin of her.
She says she's
Yes.
thankful.
Yes.
Thankful to the community for support, police for their work, but most of all, for her niece, a piece of her sister, left behind.
Ramiah's friends and loved ones were devastated at the news of her death. To find out it was the father of her child was an even bigger shock because Itongwa was very close to their family. He often ate dinner with them and attended family events. Ramiah's sister, Mya, said that Ramiah and Itongwa had been together about 4 years, but were no longer romantically involved after their daughter was born. She stated that the two were co-parenting, and that while the relationship appeared civil, she found Itongwa to be a shady person. What happens behind closed doors really don't get spoken of much, she said. She stated that there were some things that she heard that would make her eyebrows raise. Friends and loved ones were shocked to learn that Ramiah's baby's father was arrested for her murder because he attended Ramiah's funeral prior to his arrest. Ramiah's sister noticed that he kept to himself, sat down, and didn't say anything during the funeral. Family and friends gathered at the Stowe Rocks High School football field, the high school Ramiah graduated from, to honor her life. Loved ones vow to make sure Ramiah's daughter is taken care of after her mother's passing. Itongwa has not admitted to the murder, and therefore the motive of this killing is currently unknown. This case is ongoing. What happened to Ramiah is unimaginable. She was only 20 years old and had her entire life ahead of her. She should have been allowed to live her life, and she should have been able to see her daughter grow up. My condolences to her friends and family. She should be here.
20 years old. She was 20. He was 22. They were like, they weren't even fully developed. Like, they hadn't even experienced life all the way. And he took hers, and now his is about to rot. People can be with you and not like you. They can hate you. They can lay next to you and be jealous of you, be envious of you, not like you at all. It's a level of comfort for some people. It's a level of control, level of insecurity, of unhealthy attachments. Woo! And this just shows it, you know. And then the daughter, 1 year old, in the other room, like, and it was premeditated because he pretty much parked his truck where he knew he was going to park it. Like everything was, got the mom's car, put a different license plate on it. Like, it was premeditated. He had been thinking about this already for a minute. He just needed the opportunity. And that's crazy. Young girls, older women, my peers, you got to protect yourself, and you have to make sure that, like, you will never know a person. You could be with somebody for 20 years, and we've seen some of the video clips that show that as well. But it's a level of energy and discernment. And sometimes when we care about somebody, we tend to cut that off. Well, I was like that, but I wised up, honey. Energy, vibe, intuition, instinct, discernment, spirit, whatever you want to call it, it's there. And we know it's there and we feel it. And sometimes we misread things and, we may say, oh, no, I don't think that's what it was. Or, and then we just allow people in our space who should not be there. Okay. So I just, that was a sad case. One of the biggest things is that they're getting younger and younger. And that is extremely sad. So I'm gonna go to the next clip. Keep in mind, we'll see if the name is right. But if it is, it's about this young lady named Mya Green from Jacksonville, Florida. And let me tell you, when I heard her story, I was like, she got it going on. I think she was like 19, 20 years old, on her own hair salon, just was getting it. You understand? And then there was a level of jealousy with a friend that happened. And this has been like the thing nowadays. I don't know what is happening, but I'm scared to listen. I'm scared to be around anybody the way these people acting. Okay, let's watch the clip and then we'll talk about the story after. And I just want to say that these young women are so beautiful. Like they got it going on. They're beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And they're most of them are, I'm not going to say most. They're intelligent, it seems, holding down 2 or 3 jobs or owning their own business, and they're in their 20s. Okay, so okay, I'll go here now.
'em. She just was such a loving person. I don't know why this would happen to her. And whoever did it, they should be ashamed to take an innocent 21-year-old life like that. Like, you had no remorse.
"21-year-old Mya Green was an ambitious, hardworking, and talented young woman with a beautiful and vibrant soul to match. Those close to her described her energy as infectious, truly one of a kind. She held a promising future in the cosmetology industry, transcending from the role of a hairstylist to an entrepreneur, opening up her own hair salon in February of this year, at the young age of 21. Mya had an extremely close relationship with her mother, whom she absolutely adored. Sadly, her father was serving time in jail. But one thing about Mya, no matter the circumstances in her life, she will always smile through it, pouring her focus into her passion for beauty and mission to spread joy within her community. Transforming the appearance of others and uplifting their spirits meant everything to her, and being able to do this full time and at her own pace was a dream come true. Things were really looking up for Mya. All of her hard work was finally paying off. No one could have ever imagined that a sinister chain of events would snatch all of her hopes and dreams away in the blink of an eye. Just after 11:30 p.m. on March 12th, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office responded to a parking lot on Jacksonville's west side for reports of a fight involving several individuals. Upon arrival, they would find a chaotic scene with multiple people injured and one unresponsive female.
A deadly triple shooting. Chaos erupts near Murray Hill. We are taking you where it happened for the very latest.
Police are right now interviewing 4 people, working to learn more about what exactly happened. They're still here investigating. Take a look. This section of Plymouth Street is blocked off with crime scene tape, and just down the street there is where that investigation is currently happening. Now, police say there were at least 5 people gathering in a parking lot at a convenience store on Plymouth Street and LaBelle Street when a fight broke out and then shots were fired. Now, JSO says this all happened around 11:40 last night.
The victim was identified as 21-year-old Mya Green, who was rushed to a local hospital where she was sadly succumbed to her injuries. The other 2 victims, a male and female, transported themselves to the hospital and were listed in stable condition. A look into the case revealed that the victims were shot when a fight broke out in the parking lot. Police said at least 5 people were involved, but there could have been more. Video of the altercation leading up to the shooting can be found here.
I don't give a fuck. Start over there with the road. Start over there with the road. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Start over there with the road. Start over there with the road.
A text conversation between Mya and a female by the name of Lala, who allegedly used to be like a sister to her, provides a bit of clarification on the events leading up to the confrontation. The text convo read the following. What's up? I ain't gonna lie, I wanna fight. LOL, can we link? I'm not worried about you at all. I ain't beefing with you, I don't care about you. But if you wanna fight, I got somebody for you right now. You recorded and kicked me though, like it was beef when it never was. I wanna fight you, Mya, nobody else. You was trying to bully me, but I don't care about that. I don't want to fight. Just let me know what you want me to tell my people. I ain't going to fight you. I'm going to let you know right now. Bully you? When did I bully you? I never bullied you, but okay. You tried, but thanks. I'm not going to argue. Honestly, go ahead and block me again. I never tried to bully you. I used to be the one slapping hoes for you. You tried to pull a stunt on me and then never wanted to handle it. I thought I taught you better than that. Mya then says, you literally posted me every day and some more stuff. Lala, please stop. You can't little girl me. You ain't teach me nothing. I'm grown. I don't fight. It's no reason to. And like I said, you been knew I didn't fight. I always handle what I got to. This is childish. Have a nice day. Whatever you gonna do, do it because you're aggravating. Let it go. Posted you. I posted you when you was sitting there talking down on me to a dude, but supposed to be my sister. That's lame. I'm not letting nothing go. You kicked me because a hoe said kick me. A Facebook post stated the following. Eventually, everyone agrees and proceeded to link up. Unfortunately, when Lala arrived, she had multiple guys in the car, including her boyfriend, who both brandished weapons. The boyfriend, Fredo Rockout, familiar ski mask, weapon, and voice help others confirm his identity. Although one group had weapons, people aren't specifically sure who actually fired the fatal bullet that claimed Mya's life, the boyfriend or Lala. He was also accompanied by other guys during the entire incident, injuring multiple people and snatching Mya's life away from her. And for what? Ego? A one-sided beef between 2 females?
She was just so loving, and she loved on everybody, and that smile, I always remember that smile that she had.
That's how family and friends of Mya Green remembers her as a person. She was a beautician who had just opened a hair salon in February.
She did all sorts of hairstyles and just made people look amazing.
That all came to an end Tuesday. The shooting happened in this parking lot where JSO says an altercation transpired and guns were fired. Several cars and buildings were hit. Green and 2 others were shot. They survived. Where were you when you got that call?
So it was around 2:30 a.m. and my mother, she called me and told me that I needed to hurry up and make it to Valencia Way. And it's 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, what? Whoa, what is happening? Like, I was in shock. I didn't even know how to move.
Feeling so many emotions, Wolf drives to the scene.
Once I got here, I saw red tape and police is everywhere. And my main concern was, where's Mya? Where's Mya? And one of the detectives was like, she's at Orange Park. And so now trying to reach out, like, how can I get to Orange Park really quick? But there was no need to go to Orange Park.
Green died from her injuries.
We are really still trying to process it. Like, I know that, yes, Mya is currently deceased, but we're like in pain. We're trying to figure out why. Why would someone do that to her? It's just painful and hurtful.
Rest in peace to Mya Green, Jacksonville, Florida. I honestly really, like, I don't know the story, the backstory, because they're only showing us what, like what led up to the situation. However, reading in between the lines, she just opened up her own salon. The girl was 21 years old. The salon was nice. Okay. So that means she was on her grind, on her hustle for her to be that young. And she was very ambitious and driven. And sometimes there are people in your life that are not as ambitious and driven as you, but still want it. And they prefer to take it from you, or they prefer not to see you with it if they can't make it happen for themselves. And I do believe that this is what's happening with this generation of young women and men, befriending people or even having these childhood friends that from a low really is very envious. And for like that whole situation about let's fight, this, that, and the other, I am not, this is, they talking about let's fight, and she go, did she think it was going to be a fair fight? Like, no, they don't fight fair no more. Everybody's cowards. They gonna have a stick. And for the girl, her supposed to be friend Lala, to have her man and his homies there with sticks, and like she couldn't even knuckle up. But I guess she did tell her, I'm not coming just to fight. So I definitely would have took heed of that. I wouldn't even went. You don't have to, once you get to a certain level, especially being ambitious, driven, and having your own, you got to move differently. You just got to walk away from people instead of moving toward them and stooping to their level. And I wish that could have happened for her, because she was beautiful and she seemed to, they show these videos and they're gonna, of course, everybody's going to be like, that person was a great person or whatever it may be. And, you also can tell, but I really do feel like, she probably was somebody that was just trying to, be chill, get her money, and still be cute out here in these streets because she young. And she just had some haters around her, including the men that came. They were just as bad as the young lady. And also Florida laws, from actually researching, whoever is with a person that's doing a crime, they going down as well. So they all getting locked up. So Lala just pretty much got everybody locked up. Okay. So if you guys have any questions or comments about that, please leave them in the section, and then I'll, even after the show, I'll get back with you. Okay. But for those that are watching, thank you so much for continuously watching. We're going to get to this next one. I do believe it is Jackquelyn Stevenson from Suffolk, Virginia. This situation was, she got unalived, deleted by a coworker. Excuse me. And I'm just going to let y'all take a look at it.
Breaking news out of Suffolk. That's where police are investigating a deadly shooting.
We have reached out to Suffolk police. There is no new information at this time. A terrible tragedy that unfolded right here. She had a love for family and an equally impressive work ethic.
She was always that hardworking person, always hardworking person. Every time you call and I would talk to her mom, it's like, where's Jackie? Jackie's at work.
"29-year-old Jackquelyn Jackie Stevenson was a kind, loving, and loyal woman who was described by family and friends as someone who took care of everyone, her sisters, her nieces, and her nephews, everyone. Family meant everything to her, and she meant everything to her loved ones. They were a close and tight-knit family unit. She was truly the glue that kept everyone together. As normal, Jackquelyn headed to her job for the well-known shopping network, QVC, a job that, according to friends and family, she loved very much. In fact, she was jokingly considered a workaholic amongst everyone. Never could anyone have imagined the tragic chain of events that would soon take place. Just after 8 a.m. on January 30th, Suffolk police responded to a parking area in the 2000 block of Mill Lake Road in a neighborhood off Nansemond Parkway for reports of a shooting. Upon arrival, they would locate the body of an unresponsive adult female on the ground next to a vehicle.
All day we've been reporting about a red car that was found right there. Based on the information we just got from Suffolk Police, that car belonged to Jackquelyn Stevenson. She was found shot to death on the ground outside the red car. Her relatives have been notified.
It's alarming, it's shocking, because this is a really nice neighborhood.
Angela Sullivan lives in the Old Mill Creek neighborhood in Suffolk. Around 8:05 Tuesday morning, a woman found shot to death where the red car is in a parking lot for a picnic area.
I rarely ever see people there. I know some people go there and put their boats in the water and go fishing, even though they're not supposed to, because only the people that live in this area are allowed to.
For much of the morning, we weren't allowed near the scene, so we took position up on Route 13 and shot video through the woods. There was a significant police presence, forensics out here, evidence gathering, and the red car.
I don't see a whole lot of people now. I see one or two people maybe sitting at the picnic tables, or people bring their dogs over to the walk there, because I do a lot of off-leash walking over there.
Following the conclusion of the on-scene investigation, a tow truck pulled the car and took it to impound for further testing.
I hate to see that, because I see people walking, their kids, dogs. It's a very friendly neighborhood, so I'm very surprised.
The victim was identified as 29-year-old Jackquelyn Stevenson of Suffolk, who was sadly pronounced dead at the scene after succumbing to a gunshot wound. A look into the case quickly revealed that Jackquelyn and a co-worker, identified as 43-year-old Antonio Newsom of Norfolk, Virginia, went on break at a nearby parking area on Mill Lake Road. At some point, Newsom shot Jackquelyn, then returned back to work as if nothing occurred. It is unclear whether the two went on break simultaneously or if Newsom followed Jackquelyn to that particular location with the intention of killing her. There were also no details regarding the relationship between the two other than being co-workers. Upon arrival to the scene, news crews noticed officers on a footpath between two bodies of water and a red car being towed from the scene. Jackquelyn's family and friends were left devastated and confused. Of all people, why her? Who would do something like this and why? According to them, they have no idea who Antonio Newsom is.
Learning more about the woman shot and killed in Suffolk earlier this week. Jackquelyn Stevenson died Tuesday morning on Mill Lake Road. Andy Fox talked with her family today. He has this follow-up for us now. Andy?
Stephanie, these are always tough stories to do. At the core is a deep, dark sadness. But the family wants you to know Jackquelyn Stevenson, she was a loving person, a family person, and also a hard worker. The pictures will also show her smile. And then there's the teddy bear. The family did not want me to share last names. Jackquelyn Stevenson, second from right, standing next to her sister Bobby.
Jackie was, a good, kind, loving person. She helped everybody. She was the best hair braider. She was a great big sister. Jackie's my best friend, so many great memories.
They don't know the man accused of taking Jackquelyn's life, but they both worked here at QVC and came here during a work break where she would be found.
Only God should take life, not other human beings. And whomever the person that you had mentioned, he deserves to get whatever he deserves to get. And God will take care of that.
The family wants you to know they are close-knit. Jackquelyn, the glue that kept the family together.
She always took care of her sisters and her nieces and nephews. She loved them. She was just full of love. Like, it's really shocking because you can't even imagine.
She had a love for family and an equally impressive work ethic.
She was always that hardworking person, always hardworking person. Every time you call and I would talk to her mom, it's like, where's Jackie? Jackie's at work. She's a workaholic.
Made a mean cookie, too.
Everybody in the family, they didn't want anybody else's cookies because she made Christmas cookies, and we all look forward. We had to wait till Christmas.
And who can tell the story of 29-year-old Jackquelyn Stevenson without talking about Junior, her teddy bear she's had since age 15.
And she actually had a birthday party for him every year on Valentine's Day since she was little. And she actually celebrated him. So we'll continue to celebrate him on February 14th and have a party for him.
A GoFundMe has been established to help support Jackquelyn Stevenson's family with funeral and other expenses. 43-year-old Antonio Newsom was arrested and charged with second-degree murder and is being held at the Western Tidewater Regional Jail. A motive for the shooting is still unknown, and the case remains ongoing.
Okay, hey, sorry about that. If you can hear my dog the family dog barking. But yeah, Jackquelyn Stevenson, she did seem like a beautiful young woman. And unfortunately, it's sad that it was somebody from where she worked, like coworker, it's that's crazy. And I think that deep diving more into the story, it was because she turned him down and he liked her or whatever. And the ego, the whatever you want to call it, with some men who hate rejection, that's one of the biggest issues that has actually been happening with a lot of women being unalived. I do want to share something about the teddy bear situation. Now, I will say it seems funny, but I had a teddy bear for a long time too. I was attached to a teddy bear for a long time. Yeah, so I smiled at that because I remember those days, and I had anxiety at the time, and it was more like a coping mechanism. But yeah, I do remember having a teddy bear as an adult. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get to the next clip. The next clip is I think it's Mechellea Williams out of Chicago, Illinois, and this situation is also, they suspect foul play with a coworker, and the young lady was found in Orland Park instead of in her local area. And just check this clip out, and we'll talk about it after.
Like, time is standing still. Everybody know, like, my sister was the one she's always laughing and stuff. I don't care what she went through, my sister was always happy. She ain't gonna show it to me, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I talk to my sister, one thing she will always let me know is that she got me, she got her sibling, she got us, because that's all we had.
This morning I heard a series of maybe 5 to 10 gunshots. Gunshots were extremely loud. When I ran to the window, I saw a young man running across our little wooded area, and a car speeding down what is Pond Willow Drive. I saw her probably get up off her gas, and the car rolled a little bit, then stopped. If you have a son, a nephew, or someone who you knew were out here and they were not supposed to, please tell somebody.
This is not something that's just gonna go away or not be solved. Like somebody did something to my niece. Precious worked for the post office. She not a street person, so this needs to get solved. I mean,
When was the last time that y'all heard from her?
My family talked to her. She talked to somebody in the family every single day. So we don't know who she was with. That's what we're trying to find out. Orland Park need to find out. This is not something that's just finna get brushed under the rug and not be solved.
On March 20, 2024, tragedy struck in the quiet suburban housing complex in Orland Park, Illinois, as 28-year-old Mechellea Williams fell victim to gun violence. Mechellea, fondly nicknamed Precious, was cherished by her family and friends for her unwavering love and dedication. A hard-working woman, she prioritized her 3 boys above all else. Mechelea's vibrant personality and commitment to her loved ones left a profound impression on everyone she met. For the past 8 months, she worked tirelessly as a postal worker in downtown Chicago, striving to provide for her family and build a better future for her children. Her determination and selflessness were evident in every aspect of her life, embodying the true essence of a devoted mother and valued member of her community. Welcome to Explore Crimes. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. In the quiet, gated community of Orland Ridge towns and villas, residents were startled by the echoing sounds of gunshots that pierced the air. Concerned residents quickly alerted the police. Law enforcement swiftly arrived at approximately 12:05 a.m., discovering a woman inside a vehicle that had been struck by multiple bullets. Despite the officers' immediate efforts to save her life, she tragically succumbed to her injuries. Identified by family members, the woman was 28-year-old Mechellea Williams.
Orland Park police tell us the killer fled the area following the shooting. Police found the vehicle with the headlights still on, the driver and passenger doors open. Williams' body lying on the ground. Family members tell Fox 32 the young mother was a passenger inside the car, along with some friends, including another female postal worker and 2 men.
A woman was found shot to death inside her car right outside this housing complex, but the circumstances are still unclear.
I know, it's crazy.
Carol Vanderplu lives across the street from Orland Ridge Housing Complex. She walks through the area every day with her sister and was surprised to hear a woman was found shot to death on this street.
It's quiet. You never see anybody out. It's like a ghost town.
That's the bad part of it. Yeah. Yep, not knowing, you know, if she lived here or she got shot and was pulled in here and parked the car, or who knows.
It's really terrifying, honestly, because this community is really quiet.
This was the scene overnight. Orland Park police blocked off the area as detectives collected evidence near 170th and Rosebud Lane.
Truly heartbreaking for this family. In fact, the family telling me tonight they have more questions than answers, and they say they are more than 100% sure that their loved one was not the intended target. We've learned that she lives and works in Chicago, and according again to relatives, they say she knows nothing about this area here in the south suburbs where she was found killed.
Text somebody yesterday and I told him that's my baby, that's my sweetheart. That's how we all gonna remember her.
Mechellea Williams, a postal worker and mother of 3 young sons, dead at 28 years old. Her aunt, who practically raised her, is heartbroken.
This is not something that's just finna get brushed under the rug and not be solved. They need to find out what happened to my niece.
She just loved kids. She just loved having fun, enjoying life, like a 28-year-old should do, enjoy living her life. She was family oriented. She was positive. Mechelea's loved ones also say she put family first and was loving, kind, and supportive. They say the mom poured her heart into her 10-year-old, 6-year-old, and 10-month-old boys and still made room to care for other children in her family. On Tuesday night around 11:30, family members say Mechellea left her Southside home but never returned. Loved ones say they don't know why Mechellea was in Orland Park, and they're hoping someone comes forward with answers. We're seeking support from anybody that knows any information to come forward to provide that information so we can help solve this.
And she's going to be greatly missed because this is something that should have not happened.
The crime scene was marked by the presence of numerous bullet casings, indicating a significant and violent incident. It was evident that Mechellea had been caught in a hail of gunfire, leading to her untimely demise. The discovery of Mechelea's body left the community in shock.
Detectives spent much of the morning canvassing the area and looking for evidence that may lead them to the woman's killers. It's still unclear if the shooting was targeted or if it was a random act of violence. In the meantime, area residents remain concerned about their safety and that of the neighborhood.
The only thing we received was a notification from the management team that as soon as they find out more, they would share more.
Well, the investigation into that ongoing incidents of violence continues. This as the family, friends, and co-workers of Mechellea Williams continue to mourn her loss.
Our co-workers, they're all deeply saddened this morning to hear that news, to walk into work to hear that news. So, our prayers and condolences go out to the family.
Anybody on this God's given earth could have a grandchild like Mechellea. They was truly blessed by God.
The family of Mechellea Williams is dealing with the pain of finding out the mother of 3 was killed. Now, police, they're still searching for that suspect. We did speak to the family of Mechellea Williams last night. They said that she is someone that loved to be around her family, even being known as the babysitter for her family. But right now, they're trying to figure out and understand why someone would want to take her life. She was found here in Orland Park Wednesday morning in a vehicle that didn't even belong to her.
We're still looking for answers. Right now, we're clueless of actually what's happening and what happened.
The circumstances of Mechelea's death are puzzling. Despite living and working in Chicago, she was found deceased in Orland Park, leaving her family and investigators baffled. It's unclear why she was there, as her job didn't necessitate her presence in that area.
It's obviously tragic to hear that a young woman lost her life, and tragic for her, tragic for the family, and our heart goes out to the family.
Orland Park Mayor Keith Peacock says the crime is shocking and infrequent for the village.
It was one of my first questions, is there any other danger to the community? And the answer was no. All indications were that the perpetrator had fled.
The South Suburban Major Crimes Task Force is now investigating.
And tonight we do know that killer remains at large. Police have not said if the victim was in fact the intended target. Also, we've not been told whether someone else in the vehicle was injured or not. We do know that the South Suburban Major Crimes Task Force, along with Orland Park Police, are investigating.
Thing like this that happens in the South Suburbs, there's a whole pool of people that come out and help the organizations do it. So between them and our officers, we are investigating and hope to have the perpetrator soon.
The South Suburban Major Crimes Task Force joined the investigation as officers tried to find the shooter involved, hoping to bring justice to Mechelea's family.
Family members, neighbors, and coworkers expressed their shock and devastation at Mechelea's untimely passing. The community came together to honor Mechellea, with a vigil to commemorate her life and seek justice for her tragic death.
Mechellea Williams' family, friends, and colleagues released green, white, and silver balloons in her memory outside of her home on Chicago's far south side tonight.
For them to take my sister away from us, that hurt so bad.
Hundreds of balloons flew up into the sky tonight in memory of Mechellea Williams, affectionately called Precious.
Precious was nice and she was very sweet.
Family members described the 28-year-old mom with 3 boys as family-oriented, fun, loving, and supportive.
The one thing she will always let me know is that she got me, she got her sibling, she got us, because that's all we had.
Mechellea worked as a mail carrier out of the post office on Dearborn Street in downtown Chicago.
She was a great worker. She loved her job as a city carrier assistant, and she loved her co-workers.
Orland Park Police haven't shared many details about what happened, but say they believe the person who committed the crime left the area.
If anybody know anything, just let us know. Please, can y'all let us know? Because she did not deserve this.
Again, Mechellea is the mom of 3 boys, and her family members have set up a GoFundMe page to help support her children, as well as to help pay for her funeral expenses.
In the wake of Mechelea's death, her loved ones grappled with unanswered questions and the pain of their loss. The community rallied around them, offering support and solidarity in their time of need. Despite the tragedy, Mechelea's memory lives on as a beacon of love and resilience. Her family and friends are determined to find justice for her and ensure that her legacy of kindness and compassion endures. Hearts go out to Mechellea Williams, whose life was tragically cut short by senseless violence.
Boy, another balloon release. Like, it's so freaking sad. And honestly, with this situation, I really feel like either she was with somebody that, like maybe a guy who was mixed up into something because she wasn't in her car and she wasn't on her side of town, or she was an innocent she was an innocent bystander either way, but she, I don't know how she got into a car that, wasn't hers. So it had to have been somebody that she known that she was with. But there was an issue that maybe happened in the area and she got hit, and that person decided to flee instead of like staying, and because maybe they had some issues with, their license warrants, whatever it may be, I don't know. But either or, they're still, working on investigating the situation. So there'll be an update to this. But yeah, it's just sad, and I wanted to share that because it's another beautiful young lady that's in her 20s, with a great, great job. She works as a as a postal officer. And then, she also seemed like she liked to have fun and that she was really family oriented from the pictures. So I'm sorry, and I hate that, her sons have to, have to go through this. But, keep this family in prayer because this situation is they're still working on it. Okay. All right, we got 2 more clips before we get out of here for today. I just want to appreciate everybody who's been watching. I know that you may have not been engaging in the comments, but thank you for, at least watching. And thank you, Lachelle, for, engaging in the comments. I appreciate that. But I do want to say that, I'm sorry about the beginning of the show, because there were, like I said, they downloaded with the wrong names, wrong titles. So it was a little hiccups, but hopefully I kind of made it, I kind of made up for it. But it is what it is. Now, this next one is a young lady named Chyna Crawford. Now, this situation is an update on what actually happened a couple months ago, where she was claimed missing in Washington, DC. And it was like a big thing about her being missing. And then now the new update is that it was a friend that unalived her. It was somebody she was close to, and I'm just gonna let y'all check it out. Hopefully this is the video. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is it.
New developments this morning in the case for a missing woman in the district. More than 3 weeks have passed since the family of 25-year-old Chyna Crawford have seen or heard from her. Now DC police have updated her disappearance to a major crimes case.
That's going to mean more resources, and that's very comforting to the family. As he said, now she hasn't been seen since October 23rd, and her family has been taking it upon themselves to take part in searches around Anacostia Park and Good Hope Road. But MPD having upgraded that means now that they can put more resources and more detectives around finding Chyna Crawford. And take a look at some pictures of her. We spoke to members of her family about what they're going through. And you can imagine just the unknowing or not knowing what it means to them. And this is what they had to say about learning that this has been upgraded. Take a look.
My baby sister, I love you. I'll never give up on you. And I'll always go hard for you.
Baby, I'm still looking for you. I'm not going to give up. I just need you to stay strong and hang in there, and we're going to find you.
On March 27th, the Metropolitan Police Department announced that an arrest had been made in connection to the disappearance of 25-year-old Chyna Crawford, who went missing from Washington, D.C. on October 23, 2023. Chyna's family grew worried when they hadn't heard from her and ultimately reported her missing 2 days later. Dateline featured Chyna's disappearance in the Missing in America digital series in November, where Chyna's sister told Dateline that they were determined to find Chyna and that they wouldn't give up, hoping that she would make it home before her 26th birthday.
The family of the missing D.C. woman is hoping she's found before her birthday next week.
Trying to have celebrations and normally know that she will come around, and it's no Chyna, it's no phone call, no nothing from Chyna. So it's really like overwhelming. It's just heartbreaking, to be honest with you. That there's so many people out here and nobody seems to want to come forward to say anything.
It has now been just over 5 months and Chyna is still missing. However, on Wednesday, March 27th, the Metropolitan Police Department announced an update in the case. According to a press release, an initial investigation by detectives assigned to the Missing Persons Unit suggested suspicious circumstances surrounding her disappearance. Detectives in the homicide branch further investigated the case, and as a result, a woman was indicted on several charges, and a D.C. Superior Court bench warrant was issued. 32-year-old LaShawn Washington, the last person seen with Chyna, a female who was supposed to be Chyna's friend, was located and arrested by members of the U.S. Marshal Service on March 26. According to social media, this is the same female who calls herself Tweety and could always be seen on live with a popular Instagram personality based out of the DMV area called Wilroy600, screaming that everyone should let the detectives do their job. The detectives, in fact, did their job, and it all led right back to her. How could you post pictures and flyers of your so-called friend after her disappearance, take her missing car to the chop shop, then pop up with a new one, show no remorse throughout the entire search, and think it all wouldn't come back to you? She recently bragged about getting her body done, including a BBL and a tummy tuck, so she can get right for the summer. Whole time, the only place she'll be getting ready for is the jail cell. Washington was charged with first-degree murder, felony murder, kidnapping, and obstruction of justice. She made an appearance in court on Tuesday and was ordered to be held without bond. Crazy thing is, her child's father was just murdered a few months ago, and now she's locked up. The cycle continues. Another child left without a mother or father. Her next court appearance is scheduled for April 5th. However, she is doing court on April 1st for a fugitive of justice and larceny case out of Virginia. Washington's initial court appearance, which was in the form of a virtual proceeding, eventually had to be shut down by the judge due to individuals recording and live streaming the incident. Although Chyna's family is happy that an arrest was made, they are still processing the recent developments of the case and hope that Chyna will ultimately be found so that they can properly lay her to rest.
Tonight, a woman who claimed to be a friend is now charged in the murder of a missing D.C. woman. For 6 months, we've been tracking the search for Chyna Crawford. Her family has not stopped looking for her since October of last year, and tonight, a 32-year-old woman faces murder and kidnapping charges in her death. Delia Gonzalez spoke with Crawford's family about the push for justice today outside of D.C. Superior Court.
The rain cannot hide the pain behind this mother's eyes.
Absolutely feels like betrayal. I mean, I didn't know her personally, but my daughter referred to her as a friend.
A grand jury indicted 32-year-old LaShawn Washington of first-degree murder, kidnapping, and obstruction of justice. According to the indictment, Washington, who goes by the name Tweety, abducted Crawford on or about October 24th with plans to rob her, and then about a week later obstructed the investigation.
Just knowing that this person called me on the phone, you know, she talked to me, and she's the same person that was involved in this.
Elisa Crawford wouldn't go into detail about the conversation, but says the defendant reached out to her while she was desperately searching for her daughter, who was last seen at 16th and Marionberry Avenue in Anacostia.
If I'm not out there advocating for her and asking everybody, don't forget, keep looking for her, we need answers. If I wasn't out there doing that, who else would be out there doing it? Where is she? Why can't we find her? You know, those types of things keep me up at night. It's still just unbelievable to me that we still don't know where her car is to this day, and we still haven't found her.
And while there are still so many unanswered questions, the family is comforted knowing good police work and their continued advocacy helped them get to this point.
Chyna was a sweet person, like loved to laugh, just had fun. Just got to keep her name relevant. I mean, and again, we're going to constantly keep screaming, justice for Chyna.
How am I living for her? I talked about my dreams with her, and that's how I'm going to live through her. I'm going to pursue those dreams. I'm going to achieve them.
First step of justice, words used by Chyna Crawford's loved ones hours after DC police announced an arrest in Crawford's killing.
Excitement, actually happiness. I was elated that they was actually able to bring her in and with an arrest and get her charged.
It was almost like finishing the last chapter of a book and going into the sequel of that. It's been a really long road.
On Tuesday night, U.S. Marshals located and arrested LaShawn Washington. She faces first-degree murder, kidnapping, and other charges. Court documents allege Washington, who goes by the nickname Tweety, and other suspects kidnapped Crawford in order to steal her belongings and money.
It's really hard moving on and just knowing that I have to move forward without one of my children in my life.
I wish her nothing but the worst. I'm not going to have any type of remorse for her or whatever comes of this.
Crawford's loved ones reported her missing October 23rd. An indictment says investigators believe Crawford was killed the next day. At the onset of the investigation, investigators said there were suspicious circumstances and police were looking for Crawford's Mercedes-Benz. 6 months went by, and it wasn't until Wednesday that Crawford's brother and mother says they received some closure.
It made me sad because that's confirmation that my daughter is no longer living.
Oh my goodness. Boy, with friends like these, who needs enemies? You see how many situations in the past, like, honestly, we're in the first quarter of 2024, and I can't even tell you how many situations has happened with it being a friend setting another friend up. We just gonna say friend. I'm using that loosely. But like even the mom saying that, you know, like the Tweety girl reaching out to her, like, you know, like, and then they be going to the families. Well, of course they're gonna go to, you know, because they want to pretend like they ain't do nothing, but that's just heartless to me. And the girl going to get a BBL, getting her body done, you know, having other people, you know, kidnap this girl, taking her car to the chop shop, woo, robbing her. Like, it's all jealousy and envy. That has been the biggest thing this year with so many different people. It has been jealousy and envy that has been at the forefront of why some of these situations is happening. And that's sad. But we're gonna go ahead and get to the last one because it's almost time for us to wrap this up. Now this one was, this was extremely sad. This was one of the ones that I was saying about how I feel like the system fails us as Black women when it comes to having situations happen to us as far as like DV. I forgot, I can't say the full words. But you understand what I'm saying. So This young lady who lost her life name is Jessica Singleton. And she had a full family, like a whole family. And she was with her man since they were young, like childhood. But I want you to check this out. And they're in their 20s. Check this out.
No. No, where are you going? Come here.
Her neck.
No.
They
I'll
won't see
snap
her.
you.
They won't see a big girl fall on their neck. Give my life to God. I'm tired of being a thug. Stop, man.
And I just want to say real quick, side eye these social media relationships, especially some of these influencers who be acting like they couples goals. Y'all need to side eye them, okay? For real.
A family tragedy. Police say that this man, who is now in custody, shot and killed the mother of his two kids in front of them.
This is the story of Jessica Singleton, a 25-year-old mom of four who was in a relationship with 28-year-old Derek Bardman Williams, her longtime boyfriend and father of her children. The two were childhood sweethearts, but eventually, the relationship deteriorated and Derek, who was banned from the home after striking Jessica, would return to the home, get into an argument with her, and shoot her several times in front of their children. This brutal crime would shock the community and devastate Jessica's loved ones. How did this loving relationship turn into this brutal murder? Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Miramar, Florida. Miramar sits right in between Miami and Fort Lauderdale, with a quiet family-friendly vibe with all the perks of city life not too far away. Jessica Singleton, a resident of Miramar, was a devoted mom, beloved daughter, sister, and friend to many. Jessica had a laugh that could light up a room and a deep love for her family that was evident to all who knew her. But perhaps the most important part of Jessica's life were her children. They were her everything, and she poured her heart and soul into raising them. Jessica was in a relationship with 28-year-old Derek Bardman Williams, who was her baby's father. Jessica and Derek shared a bond that went beyond mere partnership. They were not only lovers, but also best friends and devoted parents to their children.
Yeah, you know. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Their relationship, which spanned many years, was marked by a deep and evident love that was clear to anyone who knew them.
Come here. Why are you looking at me like that?
They shared a fondness for laughter and light-hearted teasing, creating an atmosphere of joy in their home, filled with fun and playful moments.
So this is what we doing in 2019, man. All 2019, man. Ow! This is what we doing. All 2019.
That hurt. Ow!
Over time, Jessica and Derek's relationship took a disappointing turn. The harmony they once enjoyed gave way to frequent arguments, and Derek's behavior escalated to the point of violence towards Jessica. The once loving man that she fell in love with became aggressive, violent, and angry towards her. During a particularly distressing incident, Derek violently assaulted Jessica. After the assault, she made the courageous decision to seek help from the authorities. Following this, the authorities intervened and mandated Derek to vacate their shared home, thereby prohibiting him from returning to the residence where Jessica was living with their children. This action was taken to ensure Jessica's safety and to protect the well-being of their children.
What is happening to the videos? Okay, let me figure this thing out and see what's going on. Sorry about that, guys. I told you it's been weird, but I'm going to, let's see here.
No.
Okay.
And playful moments.
This is what we doing 2019, man. All 2019, man. Straight mad drive.
Ow.
This is what we doing. All 2019.
That hurt. Ow.
Over time, Jessica and Derek's relationship took a disappointing turn. The harmony they once enjoyed gave way to frequent arguments, and Derek's behavior escalated to the point of violence towards Jessica. The once loving man that she fell in love with became aggressive, violent, and angry towards her. During a particularly distressing incident, Derek violently assaulted Jessica. After the assault, she made the courageous decision to seek help from the authorities. Following this, the authorities intervened and mandated Derek to vacate their shared home, thereby prohibiting him from returning to the residence where Jessica was living with their children. This action was taken to ensure Jessica's safety and to protect the well-being of their children in the wake of such turmoil. But unfortunately, this did not keep the two apart as intended. Despite the legal measures put in place to keep Derek away from Jessica and their children, these precautions tragically failed to keep them apart. Derek, defying the orders, returned to the home where Jessica resided with their children. This violation led to an encounter between the two, and as tensions escalated, they found themselves embroiled in yet another argument. The exact circumstances of how Jessica and Derek reconnected remain unclear. It is uncertain whether Jessica willingly allowed Derek back into the home or if he arrived unannounced, but what followed was a night filled with contention. The two argued through the night, their voices carrying into the early morning hours. The prolonged nature of their dispute suggests deep-seated issues that tragically were not resolved peacefully. This extended altercation ultimately led to a tragic event that would forever change the lives of everyone involved. The argument started indoors but soon escalated, with things getting physical. Eventually, it got so intense that they ended up outside their home, still yelling at each other. In a shocking turn of events, Derek pulled out a gun and shot Jessica in the chest. The brutality didn't stop there. He allegedly kept firing at her, hitting her in the torso and back as she tried to escape from the gunfire. Adding to the tragedy, the children witnessed the crime. The shooting happened right in front of them, with their 4-year-old and 1-year-old watching in horror. Miramar police received calls about a domestic situation at a home along DeSoto Drive. At around 8:20 a.m., first responders discovered Jessica lying on her side next to a car outside of her home. She was immediately rushed to Memorial Regional Hospital, but sadly, despite the efforts to save her, she couldn't be revived and was declared dead. A child specialist spoke to the children, and one of the children bravely told the police officer what happened, saying, "Daddy did it to mommy, and mommy is dead." After the crime, Derek attempted to flee the scene on foot. The police set up a large perimeter around the neighborhood. They wanted to make sure he couldn't hurt anyone else. The Pembroke Pines police worked hard, searching everywhere to find him. A police K-9 unit eventually located Derek hiding in some bushes several blocks away in the neighborhood, and he was bitten by a canine before being taken into custody. The police used video from a Ring camera to help them track him down. The footage showed a man who they believed was Derek running away, with a little boy chasing after him, calling out, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." It was a sad and chaotic scene, with a child desperately trying to reach his father, unaware of the danger he might be in. Neighbors couldn't believe what had happened when they heard about the shooting. They were shocked and surprised by the news of such a violent incident occurring in their neighborhood. I'm thankful they did apprehend the suspect for the safety of our neighborhood, but it's very tragic. Very, very tragic. In his interview with the police, Derek first denied any role in the shooting. However, as the interrogation continued, he ultimately admitted to being the person seen fleeing from the scene in the Ring video. Derek was charged with second-degree murder and is being held without bond.
2 children, ages 4 and 1, witnessed their mother get shot multiple times in the chest. Police say the person that pulled the trigger is their own father. He is now behind bars. Police with guns drawn, SWAT teams on scene, canines deployed, searching for a suspect following a brutal, fatal shooting. Police arresting 28-year-old Derek Feliciano Bargman Williams and say that he killed the mother of his 3 children, 25-year-old Jessica Frankel Singleton. Shots rang out shortly before 8:30 this morning, rocking this quiet Miramar neighborhood along the 2300 block of DeSoto Drive. According to an arrest form, Bargman Williams allegedly told police that he was arguing with Singleton throughout the night and into the morning. Their altercation became physical and carried over outside. That's when police say Bargman Williams shot Singleton multiple times in front of their two small children, both under the age of 5. The arrest form goes on to say that one of the two kids found on scene said to officers, quote, "Daddy did it to mommy and mommy is dead." Maria Mendoza saw the children outside following the shooting.
I just saw they took the kid. We saw taking the kids. One of them didn't have no clothes, and that's why I run inside, got some blankets, and took it to where they were going with the cops.
Singleton was rushed to Memorial Regional Hospital, where she sadly died from her injuries.
The kids now, they don't have a father, they don't have a mother, so that's what it hurts more.
Just so sad, and DCF will determine where the children will be placed. They weren't physically harmed when shots rang out, but emotionally, we know that is a totally different story. Following the shooting, their father, police say, did take off, was found blocks away. A gun was found in his backpack. He is now facing a murder charge.
The Department of Children and Families made sure the kids were safe by putting them in their grandma's care. This case is ongoing. What happened to Jessica Singleton should have never happened. What began as a simple argument escalated into a brutal act of violence, leaving Jessica dead and her children orphaned, robbing them of the love and care they deserve. It's heart-wrenching to imagine the pain and confusion those children must have felt witnessing such a traumatic event at such a young age. The loss of their mother will undoubtedly leave a lasting scar on their lives. Jessica's final post on Facebook, just 3 months before her murder, read, "If I pass away unexpectedly, remind my kids every time you see them how much I love them and how I would do anything in this world for them. This is all I want." The perpetrator, Derek, had a history of violence against Jessica and was even legally barred from being near her or their home. Yet, he managed to breach these restrictions, resulting in a tragic outcome that defies comprehension. As the investigation unfolds, questions arise about the efficacy of protective measures and the justice system's ability to prevent such heinous crimes. The story of Jessica Singleton represents the ongoing battle against domestic violence and the urgent need for stronger safeguards to protect the vulnerable. My condolences to Jessica's friends and family. May you continue to heal and one day find peace. Thanks.
Okay, one of the things that and yes, rest in peace to Jessica Singleton, and you know, I hope her children are well. But one of the things that women we have to not do is when we know we in situations with people that's volatile, that, you know, it doesn't matter who it is. It could be brother, it could be boyfriend, it could be husband or whatever. We have to tread lightly on those situations because we tend to always be trying to give chance after chance after chance instead of holding people accountable and saying to them, you know, before you come back into my space or in my life, I really feel like you need to create, you know, a better space of your own by checking yourself, whether it's telling them to get counseling, whether it's showing them the areas where they are the most volatile towards you, so that, you know, that can help them into kind of figuring out what they need to do. But if they do care about you, they will be back and they will be better. Or if they're supposed to be in your life, they will be back and they will be better. But sometimes we don't hold people accountable. Sometimes we're just happy to have people in our space, and we open up our heart to them and we care deeply because we put in a lot of stock with them, which is time. Like them, they had childhood time. So she was thinking that she really knew him, but he was hurting her. And that was on camera. And she was saying, this hurts. But she was laughing through the pain. those are things, those are red flags. You know what I'm saying? Because any man that really love and care about us don't want to hurt us, even if it's playful, you know. But that came from wisdom, because I've been through a lot. So I had to go through all of these struggles of abuse, of different type of situations with men and people that should have protected me but didn't. And I had to get to a certain place in my life where I sought counseling. I worked at doing the work. And now I'm different when it comes to allowing people in my space. And this is still all new to me as well when it comes to that. But I just hope that, you know, in the future, we as Black men and Black women, because this podcast and this whole series is meant for the African American community, because that is my community. And I just need us to really start paying more attention to each other and holding each other accountable and helping each other to get better, get right. And these old heads, OGs, stop being scared of these young boys and actually having conversations with them out of love. And the same with the older women. Stop being threatened by these young girls and actually have conversations out of love. It's time for more mentorship again. It's time for the, taking a village to raise a child conversations again. But now the whole take a village to raise a child, people be ready to murk somebody if somebody actually is pouring into their seed. If somebody actually see the growth of a young person and actually giving them some advice that might be constructive criticism, and because that person might be sensitive, they go back to their family come, and now everybody ready to fight. We got to get out of that. What is happening? So we don't have much time. You can see the frequency of, the world, the planet. We don't have much time to get it right, but hopefully the majority of us will wake up and get it right and live in a better space and place before we leave this earth. And that is it, and that is all for the night. However, I do want to introduce someone who is near and dear to me, who has skills. He is dope, and I have his music. I love listening to his lyrics. He is amazing, and I just wanted to display this because I felt like this was a good platform today to display this song, and it's one of my favorites from him. His name is Frank Bellarosa. You can actually follow him on Facebook. He goes by the name of Frank Bellarosa on Facebook. And I think in parentheses, he may have One's Gangsta. But the name of the song is called I Know. And before we get out of here, I want you to check it out. And thank you once again for suffering through this whole show with me, with the technical issues and all of that, with the little drama that I was having. But I'll see you next Wednesday, okay? With episode 4. And love y'all and mean it. Have a good night.
Acting like they love me, but their hearts are filled with evil. I know. Saying they might ride or die, but they probably rather die than to stay by my side. Yeah, I know. These things I know. These can tell you they love you, but don't mean it.
These niggas show you some love, really it's envy. Feel like I'm talking too loud, how you don't hear me? Can't control me, I'm rolling, you can't steer me. I do this for my nephew locked down in the box. Got 35 years rinsing, washing his socks. I asked Solo why he chose me, said you speak from the heart. Plus you a whoosh woman that can speak to the ox. Will make a real shot of become righteous. Ducking indictment, leaving your life hard. Pull your card, you got no license. See with the eye as far as eyes can see and realize I've been lied to. My bloodline from Egypt. I took the city when I'm Rome, I'm disguised as Caesar. I prayed 5 times a day, try and find Khadijah. Turn up my hustle, I ain't doing it for the breadcrumbs. I say that shit they wanna say, I guess I say it fun.
I'm so tired of the same old people acting like they love me, but their hearts are filled with evil. I know. I'm so tired of the same old people acting like they love me, but their hearts are filled with evil. I know. Say they might ride or die, but they probably rather die than to stay by my side.